don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
All righty there, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to this Friday show, a very special Friday show. Hope you're all doing well. We're a little discombobulated here. I had to do a reboot of the computer right before we came on, and so we were pushing the boundaries of time and space, but we are here. Welcome. I hope you're all doing well. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see the chat at the moment. So while I'm doing a clean of the glasses, I will say welcome and thank you for being here. This is episode 209, I believe. Episode 209, Friday, May 24th, 2024. It's Memorial Day weekend. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I know last year I got in trouble. I can't remember what happened. Last year I got in trouble because I was like happy or something. Or I told everybody.
You told everybody Happy Memorial's Day.
Yeah, right. And so I was supposed to say,
and I'm still not sure what the proper greeting is supposed to be.
Yeah, right. Right. I hope you all have a miserable time. I hope it rains where you are. I hope your basement.
I hope you enjoy your family gathering, and I hope you take some time to remember those that have given all for their country.
Yeah, and enjoy that flood in your basement and bury an animal. All right. Well, someone got mad at you for saying happy. I remember. Yeah. Listen, I'm not happy. I know, Alva. That's it. I love it. Let me tell you a story for everyone out there that wants to get all yippity with that. My grandmother, who I talk about frequently on here, primarily because she's now the only grandmother I have, but everyone else left me. They're all out doing something else. No, my grandmother, the one that had the redhead that had the leg issue, her oldest brother gave his life in World War II for me to sit right here and say, Happy Memorial Day, you assholes. So if somebody doesn't like it, take it up with him. I hope it's an upbeat story. There it was. That was upbeat, wasn't it? And how upbeat was it? So there you go. All right. No, yeah, it is Memorial Day weekend, so you know what that means. It is not just a time to drink beer and eat hot dogs and be out of work Monday, but it is a time to reflect those who gave all. And so I hope that you guys do that and have whatever kind of weekend that you feel you should have. I'll say that. It's also a time to. It's been kind of co-opted, and people have then taken the time to decorate everyone else's graves who have passed along the way, and so you remember that as well. Okay, so look, I'll be honest. Last night when I said that we would be live tonight, I was kind of hoping that we would have something to talk about this evening. I was hoping that we would have some records. I was hoping that something would be in. Oh, hold on. Stand by. Well, so I'll tell you. Let me say this. First of all, for anyone that stayed with me last night, and for anybody that watched the entire evening, for anyone that made it through the end, my grandparents, normally I turn on at 9 o'clock. We're on at 9. And then at about at 10 or 10:30, my grandmother's text and says, "Okay, I'm off to bed." You know, Grandpa may or may not watch. And then if they both go to bed, they like get up the next day and they watch the end of it or whatever. But most times Grandpa will watch to the end. But last night, and normally he'll watch the end, but like if it goes really long, if it's like a 2.5 hour long show, he might tune out. But they literally sat through that entire program last night because they wanted to hear the insanity that was John Sproles. And I will tell you, for those of you that watched last night, you guys feel like you had it rough. I have since watched that John Sproles interview 2 more times from start to finish with 2 different individuals. And so it is, I am Sprolesed out, let me tell you. That being said, last night when we got off the program, I was talking to Kate and I said, man, I feel like I really need to split this episode up. I feel what I normally do is we'll have a live program and then I keep the live how it is. But then if there's something else I talk about, I go into the because we keep a master file. I keep a master file of what we record, and I will edit it into a separate video and put out something if I feel like it needs its own video. And so that's what I did. I went into the master video and I made a second video off of it. And we ended up titling that episode. I will show you all here. We ended up titling that episode, Sheriff Sproles Goes Off the Rails in Real Time. And here's the thumbnail for that episode. Each one of these pictures that you see what was it I said last night, Kate? There are 59 of these. I think there are 59 pictures, 58 or 59, 59, I believe. All 59 of these pictures and faces are a separate individual face that he made in that episode. And some of it's covered up by writing and whatnot because it has to. But I got to tell you all, my most favorite face that he makes is this one. It's this one right here where I'm going to blow it up a little bit more. It's this one right here where he's got the hands that come up like this. Something, I don't know, it's very Sproles-like. I could see that's something like Sproles would do. So, that's the thumbnail. I love this one right here. He's sneezing is what he's actually doing. But what I do is what I do here is I look at these as like the unconscious face. This is all of the Sproles during that video last night where he was trying to come off as respectful and whatnot. And I've got to be honest, I have heard from so many people about last night's episode. I've heard from so many people about last night's episode. People are watching it. The 3-hour video that we did last night, I trimmed down to an hour and 58 minutes just of that Sproles episode. All the Sproles stuff is there, and I put it out. And I've been being contacted by several people. I actually reached out to Steve Brown, and I let him know how grateful we were. I rewatched half of it this afternoon. He almost said shit once. Wonder if he would fire himself. I think shit is okay. I was talking about that actually with my mother. She's like, he can say shit hell damn, but just don't. Oh, all right, so anyways, the Sproles of Warhol. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I will say, Charlize, he has. I don't believe that's for me to disclose. I will allow him to disclose that. I think he has. I think that he came to the conclusion. Well, keep in mind, so that video that we saw was from February of 2024. So at the time that video took place, he had all the interactions with Elvante Riddick. He had not allowed his officers to arrest Elvante on an illegal fake warrant, a false warrant. Okay. So he had not done that. But he had done that. He had the interactions with the Shirley police officer and the Shirley police chief and all of that with Humphrey and all that. He had the interaction with Roger Winston for the dance team. He had shot Marquette Neal. He had the incident with the pepper gun, but he had not been through the pursuit that caused the fatality yet. But I think it was Sproles' interaction with Steve during that event, which really pushed Steve in a direction. But that's up to Steve to release that, I think. I will say this to you. That's hilarious. I would love to hear. I'm going to see. I don't know, what the deal is, what the rule is. If I would like to get Steve Brown on to come on with us at one point. That would be interesting to see if maybe he would do that in the future. So I feel like last night was such an undertaking. I almost hate this being all Sproles again. I'll tell you, from the city of Muncie, we're still waiting on a lot of stuff. We're waiting on records. We have a lot going on with the city of Muncie, but honestly, right now, we really have no more information. I have nothing really new to report on. Stand by 1 second here. I need to make a change here. Just bear with me here. Okay, much better. Much better. Sorry there, folks. I was dealing with a chair switch out. Give me 1 second. So we really don't have anything in the way of to report on from Muncie. I don't have anything going on with that. That being said, I've had so much wardrobe malfunction. Absolutely. I've had so much going on with Sproles today, and I went back through and watched that Sproles interview 2 other times now. I actually now have more insight, because last night when I watched that video with you all, I had not seen that. The very first thing that I had watched the first 5 minutes of it, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going to listen to this tonight. So I just stopped and I was like, I'll just watch this and react in real time. And that's why last night, like literally while we were in the middle of the show towards the end, I was like, I've got to call a friend of mine who I know obviously would be commenting if she was here. And so she's not here. So I need to call and be like, yo, you need to get on this program. So that's the reason we did that last night. I'm so happy that Mary jumped on. But I have heard from a lot of people and a lot of different people saying different things and a lot of different people's takes. One of the things that I wanted to point out, do you all go back in your mind and remember, do you remember last night when he was talking about when it hit him a couple weeks before he took office? So after the November election, but before January, when he's like, a couple of my friends were talking to me about like, what's the biggest thing? And he was like, saying, I was realizing that all these people were going to be under my care. And then it's just so fitting that January 1st happened to fall on a Sunday. That's good. It fell on a Sunday. And he was walking through the jail and he was like, it's all mine. It's all mine. All mine. Well, he said a couple of things relating to that, how he would walk back in the jail and he was meeting people and he knew, he walks back in the jail and he connects with these people and they love him back there. And he's been back there more than any other sheriff. And they've said, I've never seen any other sheriff back here, which is a flippin' lie. A flippin' lie, okay? Here's the thing. Rick McCorkle was in that jail all the time. All the time. So Sproles is a flat out liar. And if you watch that video, you can tell really quickly what Sproles' tales are. He's got so many tales, it's just crazy. I'm probably, he's not a poker player, but I would highly recommend him never play poker. Well, I called him in another lie, and I'm surprised we didn't say anything. And I want to get back to that. I'm going to get back to that in a second, but I see a couple people commenting here, and I do want to say, yes, I did not directly meet or talk with Elvante today, but Elvante did comment on the video, and I was so happy that I do want to talk with him. Elvante made a very powerful comment, and Elvante's comment was, he is a very prideful man, and as a Christian, that's dangerous. On his day of judgment, when he stands before God, bragging about all of the good he has done on earth, I would love to see his face when he finds out that God is not white. And I agree with that. I agree with that. Obviously God does not come in this form. God is not a white man in the form we so often try to put God inside of some kind of creation that we make. And I heard a speaker one time say that if I, as a human, am able to conceive of God, that is not a God that is great enough for me to worship. I am not powerful enough or awesome enough to be able to conceive of God. So the fact that humans try to put God in some kind of a creation that we're like, oh yeah, that's what God looks like. It's to me, that always resonated with me. The God that I serve is so awesome that my feeble brain cannot comprehend that. So I liked Elvante's take on that, and I respect Elvante, and I tell you, Elvante, of all of the people that Sproles has done wrong, Elvante has been the person that Sproles just continues to do wrong to. He just continuously does wrong to him. And so I feel for Elvante. Now, yes, yeah, obviously Jesus was, yes, absolutely. I'm speaking solely of God, the Father, there, Johnny. But yes, yes, God is inconceivable to our minds. That's the point there. So yeah, Elvante said that. Of course, I commented back to Elvante, and I sent him a message, but we have not been able to talk directly yet. And it's been interesting. It's been interesting seeing just how people interact. I mean, a lot of people have said, one person said that he essentially, Sproles, has basically helped pad several of the lawsuits or the tort claims or investigations into Sproles because of everything that he said last night. Now, I am in the middle of making a bunch of shorts from last night's video, which I will hope will direct people back to the video. So those are getting ready to go up. But getting back to my story I was talking about a moment ago, when Sproles is going on and on and on and on and on about telling that going on and that's hilarious, Charlie. I just watched that the other day with my grandparents. When Sproles talks about the fact that he is so beloved in the jail, then when he gets to the part where he's talking about Marquette Neal, it's very interesting. How many people do you remember when Sproles first started talking about Mr. Neal? Do you remember him saying that he inherited, which also, now that I'm saying it, oh crap, Brenda, you didn't see this? You weren't on here? Ejac, yeah, right. I've heard that. I will send you the video that you need to watch, Brenda. But so going on about the this time that he was talking about Neal, he says that he inherited Neal. He inherited Neal. And when he says that, first of all, that sounds bad. But second of all, he then goes on to say that when he went in with the shotgun and he actually had his interaction with Elvante or with Marquette Neal, then that was the first time he had ever interacted with Mr. Neal. Now, that might not mean anything to you guys until you remember that he shot Mr. Neal on July 6th. So you mean to tell me that Neal was in your jail in January and you have been back and among these people and you know that Marquette Neal is a quote-unquote problem, and the very first time you've ever interacted with him was the day that you shot him point blank with 4 beanbag rounds? Why was he not one of the inmates that you gave candy bars to and that loves you because of how great you are? You didn't interact with him for 7 months. So that's interesting. I think that's interesting because it just proves. Yeah, Alva. That's exactly. He's been there since January, and he fights all the time, and he grows out his fingernails, and he wants to do this, and he causes all these issues. And we premeditated the beanbag gun. You know, I told him 2 times before that we're gonna shoot you with the beanbag gun, and it got him to comply for 2 times. This time, no. Exactly. That's some BS if I have ever heard it. But there were a lot of things that Sproles did and said that he just talks and walks around in circles. Thank you, Misty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Help spread the word. Share the show. Be here. It's wonderful. Thank you for being here. What's interesting is the other thing that I noticed in his web of lies. He forgot to tell how many stitches that O'Neill received. No, is it it's Neil. Marquette Neal. He said he only broke the skin. He received over 90. I was wrong in what I was talking to Steve Brown about that. Between both legs, he received 90 total, around 90 stitches total in both legs. But another thing that Sproles talks about is when he took over, that leading up to his time as sheriff, I'll come back to that, Charlize. He was talking about how they had always ran 6 or 7 people behind. They'd always been, short 6 or 7 bodies, and that he just always thought that it was because of the commissioners and the council always said it was the low pay. No. It was John Sproles who, remember, this interview was done in February. Keep that in mind. This interview wasn't last night. This interview was done in February. Okay. I'm going to pull something up on the Henry County Sheriff's Department page here that to me is interesting. It just once again shows you how the sheriff just constantly talks in circles, and it's just lie after lie after lie after lie. And it's amazing to me the way that he feels confident and comfortable doing and saying the things that he does and that he says. It's crazy to me. Okay, I want to show you this. So I can go back and I can tell you exactly when, because of the I can tell you exactly when, because, oh, did he take that down? So in the interview, we are able to place the interview because of a couple specific things. I could just ask Steve Brown. I have not. I will next time I talk with him. I will ask him exactly when it is. But during that interview, he mentions, number one, the fact that several weeks prior, his father-in-law had passed, and his father-in-law died in December. But then also he said that I wrote last night this, he writes that creed. And so that was put forward sometime in the end of February. That interview took place in February of 2024. But on March 15th of 2024, yeah, 14 months on the job would mean February. Absolutely. So on March 15th, the sheriff writes the following. Unfortunately, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I have been predicting this reality to start hitting close to home soon unless serious and divisive corrective action is taken immediately. Judging by the amount they are being underpaid, it looks like the wolf is sitting on the back doorstep. More to come on this subject soon. And what he shared was the Washington County, Indiana Sheriff's Department post about the fact that they were undermanned on the road. And because of that, they were going to start cutting services out. They were not going to patrol after midnight or yada, 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 whatever. And then 2 days later, the sheriff wrote, "Harsh reality is starting to settle in. It's not safe. It's not pretty, but it's predictable. I've been waving this warning flag since I took office in January of 2023 and will continue to do so. If decisive corrective action is not taken immediately to pay our officers a minimum of a fair average salary, we will one day be posting the same announcement in Henry County as my friend Sheriff Miller is posting in Washington County. Our Henry County deputies are currently underpaid, yada, 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 yada." All right, this is in March of 2024. Well, how come in February of 2024 is he capable of saying we're fully staffed and everything's going well? And, you know, I always thought that when we were understaffed in the past, that it was because, you know, the commissioners and the council said it was the pay. I never heard that. I've never heard the commissioners and the counselors be like, well, the jail's so sadly understaffed because of the pay. Sproles was saying it wasn't that. It was because people were allowed to say the F-bomb and people were, you know, it was a scary place in here. It was like walking down an LA street at, you know, at nighttime. You know, I made that up. It was like being in Compton at nighttime with black people. Ooh. If anybody ever just would make short of any of specific clips of mine, they could almost probably ruin me. But obviously everyone knows I'm making fun of Sproles, so whatever. Anywho, it's crazy that the sheriff just thinks the way that he thinks and he acts the way that he acts. He said that crap to Steve Brown, and I will say it's like this. It's when you catch your kid in the middle of doing something wrong and you're like talking to them and they just start rattling a bunch of things off and saying stuff, and it doesn't matter. They're just trying to rattle stuff off to like get out of trouble. It happens a lot of times in the policing world when I would pull someone in and have them sit across the interview table with me and I would be interviewing and they're just saying anything. And it doesn't matter if what they're saying contradicts what they said just 5 minutes ago. It's literally the only thing that matters is what's coming out of their mouth right now. Yeah, Charlize, that's it. That's the other thing is, and listen, I say, and I've always said, I have grown up in I have a certain way that I think of treating people, and I do my very best when I'm in public to be respectful of the company I'm around. And it's one thing if you're like in the locker room with the guys or whatever, or you're, you know, hanging out, you know, band practice, you know, garage band practice with the guys, or if you're, you know, standing outside the church with a, you know, group of, you know, men and women and young and old, you know. And I try to be respectful with my language. Now, I know on this program from time to time, I will curse or whatever. And I think it's a little bit different because this is my house here we're in. And, dealing with people, sometimes things, whatever. But so often I think that people get lost in the fact that, like, the cursing that was looked at as being specifically, bad in religious meanings is like curses that were like blasphemy, using God's name in vain and curses in that way. People being offended by words that were created 2 decades ago or whatever. I don't think that that's exactly what I don't think that that's what it is, but Jack, I just saw it. Yeah, I've I got to tell you, first of all, studies will show that the higher educated a person is, the more chances that they will use curse words from time to time. And I've heard a lot of people, and I tend to believe this way, that there's an honesty level that, you really, it's when you look at somebody and they're like, oh, fizzle sticks, I tend to be like, something's wrong with you. Charlize said earlier that she was going to have to spend the night in the Henry County Hilton to see for myself the hospitality and accommodations. I would probably advise against that, because if anything, I can tell you that when you cross over the line into Henry County, it's like 1945. You leave Delaware County and you cross into 1945. And so I would probably advise you to bypass Henry County. I don't know. The Helmet Sproles could have a whole comedy skit made out. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. I'm telling you that interview needs to be reviewed and reviewed and reviewed. Like, it needs. That's what I said in the description of that show. Like, this interview needs to be seen by every single voting citizen of Henry County. And I mean the people that voted for that loser, the people that voted against him, and the idiots in Henry County that are registered to vote but that did not vote. Need to see that. They need to see that. And I would highly recommend any of you out there, please share that show. Brenda, I'm actually I'm sending it to you right now. I'm sending you the show right now. You should have it. And it's because, and in that description, I put both the clean interview of just Steve and the sheriff, but I also made the bulk of what I show you is our commentary on that, because it's like a reaction. And I think that some of that's needed. If you're watching that and you don't have a full grasp of everything that Sproles has done, then some things might be lost on you. So I would highly recommend watching the reaction video. You get the full video, but I would highly recommend watching that. The other thing that I really want to talk about is the things that he says about Steve Dellinger and Bobby Plummer. He literally said in that interview, and he said this multiple times, that there is a cabal of people that are out trying to get him. That there is one attorney that for one specific reason is coming after him. And he doesn't like it. Would it surprise any of you if I told you that that attorney is a man of color? Would that surprise you? Sproles has a problem with the fact that a couple of his clients have the same attorney, and that attorney is a black man, a proud, strong, smart, intelligent black man, and Sproles does not like it. Sproles does not like me. He openly calls me a child molester. And that's flipping insane. But he wasn't talking badly about my attorney. But you notice he literally says that in the interview. There's this, it's these black people getting together and conjuring, and they're, they get together and they're doing their jive talking in the bush. They wrap up with some cannibalism and voodoo black magic. It's really crazy to me. Someone said, I'm not going to out this person, but I think that this is very true. Yeah, these people bring their people all the way from Milwaukee to conspire against him. But it's okay because, yeah, I did. I was speaking through. I did. Yeah. I said that's why. Yes, I did. I was being Sproles, saying that's what Sproles is thinking in his mind. That when he says these people are conspiring against me. I don't know. Did you hear, Mary? I mean, obviously, you're aware of who he's talking about when he says there's one attorney coming for him. I mean, you're aware of who he's talking about, correct? It blows me away that he really thinks this. But don't worry, because this will all be cleared up in just a couple of months when he has pictures of his arms around a bunch of black people. I never thought that anything would take the place of the insanity of the kin and gracist council meeting when Peggy Snuffleupagus said racism is like not liking green beans. But literally, that Sproles interview took the cake. He's highly insecure. Oh yes, yeah, you can see it. But someone that I was talking to that I really trust this person, they said that Sproles in his mind is so deeply religious. He's so deeply religious that it's not a problem for him to not like certain groups of people, but it is a problem for him to lie, which is kind of weird because he like lies a lot. But when asked the direct question, do you have problems with black people? Do you have problems with black people? He said, well, you heard me tell that story beforehand. My wife was born in Papua New Guinea in the bush with those people that are uncultured compared to here, or I don't know the word. I can't, you can't ask me a question like that. I carried a sick little girl in a puke bucket and, crazy things that nobody would ever say. But he never answered the question. He never directly came out and said, no, I do not. Why is that? Well, or he could have been truthful and said, yeah, I do. Because I don't think he could say, no, I do not. I don't think that he can legitimately say that. Because I think that would have been a lie in his eyes. Said he had to Google what indelicate meant. That was nuts. That was really crazy. Let me see. I want to make sure I got an email. I don't know if I can show you this email or not. Give me a second here. Oh, wow. Okay, so I cannot, I don't know that I have the okay to share this information, and so I'm not specifically going to, but I'm going to just read this without telling you who. I got an email that says, hello, I just watched yesterday's airing. I am so pissed. I could spit nails. I have stayed quiet out of this completely. How dare the MFer say the shit he is saying? I sold my house in Henry County and moved because of this person. I'll stop. Thank you for taking the time to air this. That is a real, honest to God email that I received from an individual. Kate, did you hear that? I know you were away, but did you hear that? You didn't hear it, did you? Kate, okay, hold on. I'm going to email you. I'm going to send you a picture. And I don't want to share who this is, but I'm going to send this so you can verify that another person has seen this. We have received an email just titled Sproles, and it's titled from a person who says, "Hello, I just watched yesterday's airing," meaning the Sproles video. "I am so pissed I could spit nails. I have stayed quiet and out of this completely. But how dare the MFer say the shit he is saying, ... I sold my house in Henry County and moved because of this person. I'll stop. Thank you for taking the time to air this." That is an actual email that I received from a person, and it's not just like Tom, Dick, or Harry. It's somebody that is that's a pretty, because of this, who this person is, that's a pretty massive undertaking and statement. That's all the guy said. And unfortunately, I mean, just for privacy's sake and because of this person's reputation and what this person is, I don't feel comfortable. Maybe I'll ask him later on if I can release it, but as of now, I don't think I can. I sent it to you. Don't put it up. I just want you to look at it, Kate, just so you can verify it. I sent it to you in the group, but blows me away, blows my mind. Yeah, I sent it to you. So I don't know. It's really crazy to me. It's really crazy to me how many people are affected and have been affected by this. And it is a male. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a problem saying that. It is a male. So just really nuts. And I want people to understand, Henry County just went to the polls and helped Sproles out by electing Susan Hoon to the commissioner's office. When you guys wake up, we've not said anything about this, Diane, because I wanted to make sure you guys got landed and whatnot first. But Diane, you all recall that Sproles specifically went after Diane. Here on the screen is just Diane. Sproles went after Diane. He looked her up in computer systems that he had no business looking her up in. He had folks pull her voter history and openly went after her. She has moved out of the county. Now, it's not solely, she didn't move solely because of Sproles. There are a lot of reasons that went into it, but, you know, being out of a county where you have a sheriff who has some kind of weird deal with you, it's a plus. So, I don't know, but I want you guys to know that elections have consequences, and you just went and elected someone to the commissioner's office who when you wake up on January 1st, Sproles will be more powerful than he is now. And that's not a good thing. And I'm telling you, you heard what Sproles said. Sproles last night is very much counting on the fact that he will be reelected to a second term. He will be elected to a second term. That's what he's thinking. That's what his belief is. And from seeing what I'm seeing out of Henry County, I've got to say I don't have any reason to doubt that. Stumblefoot, what? How could he be reelected? I'm going to tell you how he could be reelected. I'm going to tell you how he could be. Yeah, Diane just said it. I'm going to tell you how he could be reelected. He can be reelected because in Henry County, let me pull this up. 20 to Henry County, Indiana election results. General election. I used to have this written down, but okay, here it is. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now how he can be reelected. I see it. I see it on the screen in front of me right now. Okay. So he can be reelected because man, what is going on? Henry County, Indiana. To general election results. Share. This way you'll be able to see it. Because he's a Republican. He's a Republican in Henry County. And that's what happens. You have someone like Landon Dean who, because people believe that he is a certain sexuality that he may or may not be. I mean, he's never told me he's one way or not. But because they believe that he's dangerous. They believe that means he's a pedophile. That means they believe that he's done this or that or whatever. Nothing has ever been proven. No one has ever come forward. People have said, oh, I know of so-and-so. I know a story, but nothing has ever came forward. There are no factual proof. But what I can tell you with factual certainty is Landon Dean is a trained law enforcement professional who has had his hand in training hundreds, if maybe not thousands. That might be a little much. At least hundreds of law enforcement officers around the state that have went on and had law enforcement careers. He's been in every aspect of law enforcement, and he knows leadership. He knows the county, but because he's a Democrat, because people at the local elections conflate federal political ideologies on local candidates. Stumblefoot. So here's why it's very likely Mayor Bob is also no good. Yeah, that's exactly right. Here is why John Sproles, unless something drastic happens, will more than likely be reelected. Registered voters total 31. I've done this before, but we'll do it again. So in 2022, which was the year that Sproles was elected, there were 31,198 registered voters. And that is out of a population in 2022 population of 48,915. Okay. So in 2022, there were 48,915 people in Henry County. Out of that 48,915, 31,198 were registered. Okay. So obviously there are some children involved in that number. Or wait a minute, what does the population count? Does the
population's everyone, kids, adults.
Okay, so it counts children too. So there are some children in there, but I'm going to be willing to bet that there's a lot of people in there that could be registered to vote that aren't. So first of all, there are people that aren't even registered. So that's a problem. Okay. Second of all, now out of the 31,198 registered voters, the total amount of people that came out were only 13,674. So that means 31.
Well, out of the total voters, that's almost 44% or 43%. I mean, that's actually a really decent turnout for around here in East Central Indiana.
It really is. It really is. Henry County does a pretty good job, but they're all voting Republican blindly. Okay. But what that means is 17,524 people that are registered did not vote. So 17,000 people did not vote. Okay. 13,674 people voted. Out of those 4,359 people, 4,359 people pulled a straight R. They voted straight Republican. So they could maybe have been voting for someone else, but because of the stupid ass straight party ticket voting, and I don't mean what happens in the primary. People always get this crap confused. I'm talking about the general election. You don't vote straight party in the primary because you're only voting for one party. You have to go down and select your candidates. The only election that you can vote straight party in is the general, because you can either go down through and select all the candidates, or there's a question, 2 questions at the top of the ballot, 3 actually. It says, do you want to press this button for straight Republican and walk out the door? Do you want to press this button for straight Democrat and walk out the door? Do you want to press this button for straight Libertarian and walk out the door? If you press one of those buttons, you can leave and be done. And that's the problem. 4,359 people voted straight R, and they're going to vote straight R again. And they are the problem. They are the problem. Straight party shouldn't be a thing on there, because I guarantee you that if straight ticket voting was not an option, there would be people out of this group of 4,397, 398, 399, damn, that would have went in and maybe either left Sproles' election blank or specifically just not voted for him. So he would lose from that some, okay? So that's a problem. Now let's go down and look at his actual votes. All right, that means 1,263 pulled straight Democrat, 35 pulled straight Libertarian, okay? And okay, Sproles received 9,582. Landon Dean received 3,814. So let's take those. Let's take a look at this. Out of the 13,674, 9,582, 9,000 people out of the 48,000 people in Henry County selected Sproles, and Sproles walks around acting like he has a mandate. He walks around saying, I've got a mandate. And this is what the problem is right here. You're looking at it on the screen. This is not going to change between now and 3 years from now, 2 years from now. Do you think it's older generations that vote straight ticket? I think a lot of it is. I think a lot of it is. Yeah. If you look at this, say, yeah, that's exactly right. Straight ticket alone won him the election. Nine. So let's take a look at this. 4, 3, 5, 9, 5, 2, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 6-3. Okay. 3,814 minus 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 4,359 people walked in and pressed straight Republican. Sproles won the election. As soon as they had done that, it was over. 1,263 people walked in and voted straight Dean. That means 5,223 people we know for a fact walked in specifically and cast a vote for Sproles. 5,223 people. 2,551 people walked in and voted for Landon. We have to be able to turn people's minds around and have to be able to get them to understand. First of all, they've got to look at what's going on and they have to realize, number one, Sproles is not cleaning anything up. Why do you think we're on the verge of some big change? Mine. These people with weird names, I don't know what to call them. MMOB. It will probably be somewhat gradual, but the change will be huge over the 10-year period. What change is that you foresee coming? Because I kind of agree with you, but I think it's going in the wrong direction. I think the change is it's going to get worse. Call them like they're racehorses. Yes. That makes sense. I never really knew how to call people with fake names or, screen names, I guess. Mind my own business is commenting now in the lead. Stumblefoot News is coming around the bend. That's good. I just look at what happened with Plain Jane Diane. Just Diane is put up smiley faces. This is definitely a loosey-goosey episode. Sorry. We didn't have much to talk about. I thought we'd have some big things going on, but we didn't have much in the works. Nothing came in. Nothing came in today. Nothing really in the way of records. Go figure that. Another week has went by, and in 1 week, they were able to provide me one document, of 7-page document. It took them a whole week to give me one 7-page document. Let me look here. I'm looking. Give me a second. Oh, hold on. I want to look while I'm doing this. I'm going to look at one thing real quick here. I did get word also that Fox 59 is not done. Hold on. 1, 2. Fox 59 is not done with Mr. Sproles. So I don't know exactly what they're doing. I don't know what they're trying to do. But neither's Channel 13 we hear. So see, my problem with that is John Sproles has like a kind of like a good relationship with like Channel 8, and Channel 13 basically just copies whatever 8 does. Fox 59's the channel that's like, wait a minute. What are you trying to sell us on here? As far as that nothing popped up like I wanted it to there. I thought that what? Let me see here. Hold on. Yeah, so that didn't work the way I thought. No, that didn't work the way I thought. All right. So get 60 minutes on the Sproles trail. I need to get back in touch with Kendall and Casey. I went down and talked to Rob Kendall about Sproles early on, and maybe I can go back down there and do a recount. Do a recount of what's going on with this. See, I was looking up this Fox 59 thing. This is what I hate about what they do. And it's not just Fox 59. It's I've seen the Courier Times do this as well. So there is a list that says 5+ tort claims linked to Sheriff Costly to Henry County insurance policy canceled. And what they do is they list down through these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what they don't do is they don't in anywhere list my lawsuit, my actual filed lawsuit. They don't list Stacy's lawsuit. I wish that these news organizations So somebody, one of them, any of them would say, we are going to make a listing of every legal action facing the sheriff and put it right down there, because that to me would show a massive indictment against the sheriff. Yeah, I saw that. Our very own Just Diane is there. Diane Baker says, after discovering she was a source of frequent criticism on Sheriff Sproles' official government page, he improperly searched for her name in a criminal justice database 3 times. And he also looked her up in, of course, which is public record, but it's just weird. It's weird that he would, because she was criticizing him, say, oh, I want to look up and see what your record, your voter history is. That's freaky. That's freaky. And I just want to let everyone know, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to let you guys get back to your Friday night. This is not going to be a long one. I just want to let you guys know that there are people out there that are rich and powerful friends of Mr. Sproles that are bankrolling him, that are letting this chaos go on, that think that he's doing a good job. He's cleaning up the trash. Let me tell you, they're probably as hate-filled as he is, and as disgusting and as bigoted and gross as he is. And anyone that sits around and thinks that he's doing, is everything that Sproles does bad? No, I'm not saying that. Not saying that at all. He might do some good things. You know what? He may have helped somebody at some point. I don't do that. But I'm telling you, all of the horrible shit that he has done counterbalances the good that he has done. I wasn't in my basement eating Twinkies and RC Cola. I listened to a podcast. They say, hi. What does he say? The intro says, high above in a tower castle in the sky, or from his mother's basement. And I'm like, damn it, I want to steal that. But I just want the people out there to know that the people out there that are sitting back because and the only reason they're doing that's because they're getting perks for knowing the sheriff. They're getting perks. Maybe they're the special deputies and they, you know, all of this stuff. And I'm telling you, some of these people, I'm letting you know, I'm not mentioning them because they're private citizens, but there are a couple that I consider politicos. And as we get closer to the re-election, I am sure we will name them. But for those people that sit back and watch this and allow this crap to happen because they are getting perks from this, you're just as guilty and just as disgusting. Josh Smith, the chief deputy sheriff, shame on you. Shame on you for not speaking up and telling this idiot, you are wrecking. Look, Sproles does not have some lifelong, heartfelt connection to the sheriff's department. He's been a cop for 4 years. He's not some, tried and true, dyed in the wool, dyed blue, love it, thin blue line. Sometimes there's justice and sometimes there's just us. Bullcrap. That's not Sproles. Sproles is doing this because he realized that if he gets on, when he retires from being sheriff, for the rest of his life, he'll get 90% of his highest year paid. And it's like gross. You know, that's to me is not like somebody that whatever. I don't know. Nicole, I consider a Politico to be, that's somebody to me, like I would be like a Politico, somebody that is not, I'm not a candidate. I'm not an elected official. I'm not somebody that's running. I'm not going to be running, but I don't get mad if somebody like here's the deal. I don't do personal life stories or as much as possible unless they cross over into the line. I don't talk about private people. I don't talk about like private businesses. I talk about government things. And when you do that, there are some like when we talk about Mike Jones. Mike Jones is a government employee, but he's a private citizen. However, he's connected to campaigns. He puts himself out in the limelight campaigning over and over and over. He's on teams. He used to be an elected official. Lindsay Corey Bory Fink. Most of you people on here. Most of you people on here. Kate is, Brandon is, Charlize is. It's not a Republican. It's not a Democrat. It's a there are Republican politicos. There are Democrat politicos. There are people that are connected and in the mix. They are wanting to change things up. They tie themselves to a candidate. They support these people, support this person. They're against this person. They make their voices. They're different than just somebody out there casually living a life and this stuff happens to or happens around. These people are in the mix, in the political mix. Mike is a sad excuse for Politico. Yeah. He's like broken down. Okay, so Karen O, how long ago had Sproles completed his training? So Sproles has been in, let's see. I think he started sometime. I think he came on full time in 2020. He went through the academy in 2020. So he's been out and he's been full time. Like he's been a full time cop for maybe right at a little over 4 years by this point. So he might be at like 4.5 right now, or 4 year right at 4 years. Which honestly, he would just now be looked at as someone like if he was on Muncie, if he was in the state police, if he was on Anderson or Winchester, at about your 3 or 4 year, your 5 year mark, that's when you're finally looked at as being somebody like you're kind of considered, a veteran at that point. After your 5 year mark, you're like a veteran law enforcement officer. You've been here, you've seen some things, you've done some things. You haven't been washed out. So there are state mandates that you have to do every year. A CPR, defensive tactics, firearms training, obviously law refreshers on any of the new laws that come out and change. Domestic violence training, hazardous waste. That would really shock me, Karen. All police everywhere deal with constitutional law. Now, it's not nearly long enough. I'm a strong believer that cops should have monthly training. It should include it should include dealing with mental health. It should include substance abuse. Hold on here. It should include, things like that. And sadly, it doesn't. Sadly, it doesn't. It's the training that law enforcement get are really. Hold on. Kate must have been asleep down there.
So I looked down at Kate and she was doing one of these.
Yeah.
Well, my husband was going to bed, so I was talking to him and not paying any attention to Brandon.
She's like the middle square of the Brady Bunch. She's just like looking everywhere except for straight ahead.
Hold on. Yeah. No. Here.
I need to turn that off because that's gonna mess me up.
There
we go.
Now it's like that. Hold on. There we go.
So Christopher,
that's terrible.
I jumped on. I'm working on something insane. I'm going to have to show you when you get off air, and then we'll have to review it in the near future.
Okay, I'm excited.
Oh, dude, you're going to love it.
What's happening? Hey, this is the first time. Is this the first time you've been on? No, it's not. It's the second time.
Yeah, I've been on from here before.
Yeah.
But no, I was driving home from work, and I was listening to I was finishing up last night's episode because it was a long one. And I came up with an idea, and I was just laughing maniacally in my car and like repeating what I was going to do.
I love it.
I've got 2 ideas now. It's going to take a lot of video editing, but they're going to be pretty fun. I've got a Sproles one, and I've got a Mayor Dan video. They're 2 completely different, unrelated things. I came up with the Dan idea first this morning, but that one's going to take a little bit longer. It's going to take some more editing effort, but it's going to be insane.
Right. Well, that's good.
Sing with the cicadas. Sing with cicadas.
What's that?
I don't know. I don't know what my anger rock is either. But hi, everyone. Yeah, sorry. I just jumped in and ruined your show. No, I was editing video, and then I was like, shoot, I need to jump on here before Christopher leaves and let him know that there's some insanity coming. Let people know there's going to be some insanity coming. It's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, so Brandon's working on some stuff. That's good. That'll be exciting.
Indeed. All right, bye. See you guys later.
All right, folks. I loved it.
Oh, shit.
That's hilarious.
But since I did that, now I have to deliver. I can't. That's the thing. I'll come up with ideas, and then I'll be like, I'm going to do that, and then I never do it.
Yeah.
Now I promise you guys I have to do it.
Now he's promised. So he said it here live. People are counting on it. I'm literally writing down the date. And circled it twice.
Okay.
On a piece of paper that after we're done, I'm going to tear off and throw away.
Well, there you go.
So,
but anyways.
Well, good. I'm glad you popped on. So you were just popping on to talk to us in the after show.
Yeah, that's fine. I can come on it. I can come on and talk to people. I can say hi.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good.
Bring that high energy that Stumblefoot loves to see.
Yes, you know it. You're coming in right as people are falling asleep.
That's right.
17 years
energy.
senior. So I get it. 17, 7 years. I get it. Yeah. I get what she's saying.
Oh, I pop out with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like they do. Aren't they in the ground head first, so they pop out with their ass in the air?
I don't know that for a fact.
I think
that's interesting.
Pretty true. Yeah. No. So what did you think about last night's show?
Dude, I was dying. I think I messaged you guys, laughing my head off. Oh yeah, that's the thing. I messaged you guys. I was so jealous I wasn't on here to watch that with you guys live because I freaking died when Sproles said, well, my wife has black friends. I lost my mind, dude. That's like the stereotypical thing they always make fun of, like old racist white people for. You know,
that's exactly what a racist says.
Well, I have a black friend. I can't be racist. But he didn't even say that. His wife does.
Listen, do you remember when Jim Lucas was making all those stupid ass memes and shit that he was doing? And everybody was giving him hell for that. Well, there was a counselor in Henry County, go figure, that was doing like the same thing, kinda. And it was a big ordeal. I can't even remember what kicked off the his name's Kenan Gray. Kenan Gray. And so I always called him Kenan Gracist. Like I would call him that, like when I would go talk to him at the podium. I'd be like, and you've got Kenan Gracist up here saying whatever he wants to say. Well, there was a great big outpouring of people that went there and yelled. That was my first real foray into Henry County government. I had been having people ask me since like 2017 to come and look what was going on in Henry County when they were dealing with the windmills and they were dealing with the solar. And I was just had too much going on with Winchester. And this wasn't what it is now. I was just telling people in my neighborhood, and people are like, come on, come help us. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No one wants to hear. I don't live down there. Nobody cares. So I didn't do that. Well, then the very first person I stepped out of where I lived was I got a call from Gaston to come help with the situation. And I'm like, Gaston, well, that's in Delaware County. I was born and raised in Delaware County. I can go there and talk. And when I went over there, dude, it was like magic. Cause that was back when I would still get nervous. When I would go to Winchester, I would get like nervous to get up and speak and say things. But because of I had been arrested and all that shit, because of all of that, when I went to Gaston, I was like the senior walking into the school, and they were all freshmen. I was like knocking people out of the way. I got up and just made
a pack of cigarettes rolled up in your sleeve.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't know who I am. You better shut up and listen to me. And they were like, we're going to have you taken out of here. And the cop in the corner, I knew him. He was like, I'm not doing. They're like, get him out of here. And he's like, I'm not doing that.
How did the lawsuit?
So, yeah. I was like actively in that Winchester lawsuit as that was going on.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
then like that happened. And then I was like, man, this like might be a gig. I could be like a mercenary citizen. A citizen for hire. So
there you go.
So then that's what started happening. And in 2020, I had some people then say, hey, could you take a look at this? And so that's kind of what I did down there. So that's what happened. Well, that was like a great big, like, racial thing. But the thing that happened with him, we would have had some major fun with that too, because he was like, I can't be racist. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you this. Give me just 1 second. Hold on.
Dude, it's insane. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give some other notes while you're looking it up. But I think the other thing, Sproles keeps asking for money. He needs to ask for money for air conditioning because he was sweating like a pig that whole interview.
Dude,
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's like 70 degrees. Well, it was shot a while ago, so it's probably like 40 degrees outside. And it was 900 degrees inside that conference room with this $12,000 desk. It's 24/7 chairs.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that means.
Is 24/7 shares. So I was talking to a couple people, and they said that he felt like going into that interview, he felt like they were his friend, like he was in friendly territory.
Mm-hmm.
And you can literally see the moment in there when they were like no longer, and he's like, these are no longer my friends. Like, you could clearly see when it hit the fan.
Well, they started off like buddies, like, hey, can I get help with makeup? And like keeps chuckling. And Steve Brown's the interviewer, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, mm-hmm. So anyways.
So this is what when I found this. This is what happened when all that shit with Kennan was going on. Kennan's like, look, I can't be racist.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah, he's like, there's no way I can be racist. Look at this picture. I swear to God, he's like, we went to a wedding with a black person in Hawaii. He drove us all the way there. Jesus. I swear to God. Then the lady that was a counselor next to him said, being racist and not liking person of another color, I never thought it was that serious. I always thought it was like when my grandkids come to my house and I got some that love fried chicken and I make green beans and I love my green beans, but some of my grandkids don't like my green beans. I just figured it was like not liking green beans. Dead serious. That was like what happened. Everywhere else in the world, it was 2020, and I like walked right into 1930, and it was insane. And so we used to I made a meme.
It's like not liking them filthy, lazy green beans.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes. It was insane. It was just, I had a picture of a pot of green beans, and then below it, I had a picture of a noose in a tree. And I'm like, these things are obviously the same thing. I like get it. You know, it's clearly the same thing. It was nuts.
You never cook your green beans over a burning cross. It's the same thing. It's fine.
Nuts, dude. Literally, they told people that racism is telling people you have black friends. Stumblefoot says, absolutely. But that's the thing there. And I had not watched that. And when he says it, so he says to Steve, he's like, I told you something. I brought something up ahead of the thing that I didn't need to, right? And Steve's like, yeah. I knew right then, and I only read this here recently, that his wife was actually born in Papua New Guinea. And I was like, oh no, he's going to pull out my white wife that's basically translucent was born in Papua New Guinea. He's going to pull out the Dave Matthews card, because Dave Matthews is obviously African-American.
He's like, I think Heidi Klum's hot. Isn't she like South African?
Right.
Doesn't that make me not racist?
Yes. And so he said that, and it was just a car crash from there forward. We were talking about uncultured. He literally brought in cannibals. When you're talking about black people and cannibals in a bush, like it's over at that point. Mm-hmm. Like there is no more coming up from there. But yeah, I don't know. So that was insane. And we literally got off of the live, and both Kate and I were like, Brandon needed to be here. I didn't know that was going to happen, or we would have scheduled something. I just thought it was going to, because I'd seen some, because we've seen clips of those, because basically they've clipped that up. And I think that they're probably going to use a lot of that stuff at various times. They're just making stories to fit various things, is I think what they're doing. I don't know. But
so here's what you do in the future to get a good reaction from me. Is be like, all right, Brandon, I know you go to sleep at like 7:30 because you're a decrepit old man. Don't watch that episode yet, because we're going to make you watch this live with us tomorrow.
Yes.
Just watch my stupid reaction, because, dude, I lost it. I was laughing so hard. I was driving and was just playing it over the car speakers or whatever. And I was like, oh, my God, dude. I was like, I'm going to wreck. I'm laughing so hard.
Dude, that's the thing. It's insane.
I was like, he really said that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, how, yeah. Yes.
Because you got it earlier where, like, okay, he let a little slip of the tongue where he's like, yeah, that boy or whatever. And you're like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's a bit much. And then he just kept going. I was like,
let me show you. Yeah. That's nothing. Yeah. Stumblefoot, obviously. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Dave Matthews was born in South Africa. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you have American parents and they're in the Navy or whatever, and you're born in South Africa, you would be African American. Would I ever say that? Never in a million years would I ever say that. I would never say that. Just because, but like Dave Matthews says it. And I always think it's weird every time he says it. And it's weird when it's, because I don't know that Sproles' wife walks around saying, I'm born in Papua New Guinea. Look at me. Clearly she doesn't say it, because she actually has black friends. So she's not someone that apparently hates black people. So she probably wouldn't say that stuff. Yeah, she knows that's probably not something to say. But her husband, who obviously clearly has a problem with black people, he doesn't understand why that's a bad thing to say. That sounds good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's nuts. I'm glad you liked it.
I love that Steve Brown actually pushed back. So like at first, you're right. It was a little more comfortable. I was like, oh God, he's just gonna kind of let him spew his stuff. And he's like, okay, cool. So your in-laws did that. What does that have to do with you? And he's like, well, my wife has black friends. Like, again, what does that have to do with you? He's like, and he would not, dude. That should be such an easy like home run question in an interview. Like, do you have a problem with black people? No.
Ask me.
Obviously not.
Ask
you.
Yeah.
Christopher, do you have an issue with black people?
Well, no, I don't. Why would you say that?
Well, because you keep beanbagging them at point blank range while locked in a cage.
Wait a minute. I was just trying to get that boy to move further back in the back there. You know, I'm telling you.
I love how he called out the whole BS of it. He's like, do you not see the hypocrisy or the irony of you saying you didn't want him to hurt himself, so you hurt him?
Because we've said that here live, but I feel like no one has ever actually said that to Sproles. And I was sitting there saying, say it. And he finally said it. And I was like, yes, because listen, I had the person who came on here and said that stuff about him not hurting himself was all bullshit. That's stuff that he shocked everybody, because the original thing was we had told him he was going to be beanbagged, and we wanted him to quit kicking on that door, and we were beanbagging him because he was not doing what we were telling him to do. And then he told all of them that. So they all went and wrote the reports. And then like 13 days later, when Sproles writes his, Sproles writes, we did not want him to hurt himself. And everybody was like, what? Where did that come from?
So listening to like his whole reasoning behind that, it was taking me back to, I used to work at let's call it the Children's Correctional Facility or whatever. But even with children, it's like, don't get into a power struggle. Like he's power struggles with everybody. That's his issue. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, that's not beneficial. You're just, And Steve was kind of getting into it. He's like, dude, you're just making it worse. Like the other dude was like de-escalating and everything. And it was going fine. And then you come in, which the one thing that Sproles said that was 100% true in that interview is they look like a doofus with that helmet. But he comes in with the helmet and, hey, I'm going to shoot you. I told you I'd shoot you. It's like, why at this point? Like he's already in a cell. It doesn't matter. But that's a bunch of baloney.
That's what he said. And he was like, he was like, he wasn't complying. And Steve Brown was like, well, I knew he was causing a scene, but your guys were getting him, to comply. And he was listening to Steve Austin and, everything was going good. And, what's it matter if he's kicking the door? And then he's like, he was hunting at close range. Yeah. Well, then, and he's like, he's like, and I got to tell you just real quick about that helmet. He was like, we'll have them to say that they're having a heart attack and fall over all the time. And then we're in there fighting. And I didn't want my head to get beat off the side of the,
it's a very specific scenario.
Yeah, right. That's very interesting. Well, he didn't want his head to get beat off the side of the thing. To that question, I just say, how many times has he been beat off in a cell? Who knows? I don't know. Probably lots, but I can understand why he decided to wear a helmet that time.
There's no telling.
There's no telling.
Oh, Jesus.
So, well, I'm happy that you liked it. And I'm glad. I almost texted you this morning and said, I told Kate, I was like, Brandon's going to have to call off work to listen to this one.
Oh, God. I laughed so hard. I'm glad I didn't get to that part while I was in the office because everybody would have been like, what is wrong with you? I would have been dying. I was, oh my gosh, I was crying. I was laughing so hard. Like, did he really just say that? Yep, he sure did. And he's doubling down. Okay, this is awesome.
Yeah, like at one point it was like a grand slam. He's like, he was like, he said he like doubled down, then he tripled down. And it's like, what is going on, man? And then I love at the end, I'm making so many shorts off that video. I'm in the process of doing it right now. But at the very end, he says, I probably said too much. And I'm like, oh my God. Yes.
My lawyers keep telling me to shut my mouth, but
yes.
I hate how he keeps going. Well, as you'll know, none of these. What is it? How did he phrase it? He basically hasn't lost any of these cases. Basically, it's like because none of them have been heard yet. You idiot.
Yeah, it's the same thing as me saying I'm an undefeated boxer.
Yeah. I've never lost a World Series game in my life.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, you haven't played one yet. Oh, okay. I don't.
But he wrongly says he's like, there's no harm here. I'm out. No, no payments have been paid out. No, that's exactly right. That being said, though, you have cost the county money, whether you ever get paid out, whether all these lawsuits could go away. And he's already cost the county money because the insurance dropped them because of his actions. And that's and Steve brought that up too, which I was happy to hear. Yes, there needs to be a Sproles warning billboard that's like blinking on there. You know what they could do to get people's attention? They could light, like, oftentimes fire will draw people's attention. So they could set up like 3 crosses there and torch them so people would know to look up. And they could have like a pointy little thing like this, like a white kind of sheet pointing up with a guy there. Yeah.
But
so strange.
It was interesting. That interview definitely made him look really bad because everything he did, Steve's just kind of like, couldn't you have just done this? Like with pulling the guy over out of uniform, he's like, yeah, but someone else was there. Why not leave? Sproles has too big of an ego, man.
Yeah.
Way too big of an ego. It's like, he's like, and see, wanted that officer fired? He's like, well, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm surprised he wasn't.
Have you seen the Messenger, the picture in Messenger?
Oh, I don't know. Let me have a look.
Look in Messenger. Yeah. I'm not releasing that information. I've talked about that on here, but I've not released it publicly. But look at that and look at who it's from.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. Holy smokes. Okay. I just start reading it out loud. I can't read what's inside my head. I have to verbalize it.
So, well, good. We're not trying to hold everybody. I'm not trying to hold you over. So you have anything else more you want to say to the people?
No, I was just coming on. I'm going to show you this thing after the show if you've got a minute.
All right. Yeah, definitely.
No, I've got a couple videos hopefully coming soon. I've got at least one coming. I've got it mostly done, so I can show you what I've got done so far.
Well, that's good.
But I'll have to show everybody else later once it's cleaned up and
I love it.
Safe for the internet. Because the internet, you can't put crazy things on there. So, but no, I think it'll be fun. I'm laughing as I'm making it.
That's all that matters. Doesn't matter if anybody else likes it. It just matters if we like it.
That's what I told the wife. She's like, "Are you gonna get sued?" And I was like, I don't know. I was like, if I get a laugh out of
it's Bilbrey. It's Bilbrey. If anybody gets sued, it's Bilbrey.
I was like, listen, if nobody sees it but Bilbrey and he laughs, then it was worth it. But it'll be fun.
I'll take the heat. I'll take the heat.
We're still before the July 1st enactment of that bill, so we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Kate keeps reminding me of this.
Yeah, I'm still alive, Stumblefoot. I'm still with the living. The construction signs and change the message. Just says Sproles sucks when you drive in. That'd be hilarious.
Well, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. This has been a weird episode, but I got a lot of extra Sproles stuff off my chest, and I wanted to this is kind of like if you watch a movie and then you go back and you watch the director's cut and they're talking at the end of it. Like I needed to put this, I needed to be playing last night's episode, but also turn it down on us just talking through it. That's kind of what it's been like.
It must T3K. And you definitely don't want Sproles stuff on your chest. That's for sure.
Oh God, no. What? No, that's bad. That would be, yeah. What happens after getting beat off in a cell? So, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We will not be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. So we will be back for episode 210. Wow, 210. We're almost up to 300. I don't know. No, I'm not. It's my fake cigarette. It's a piece of paper I rolled. No, let me show you this. I started to tell you guys this last night as we rolled out. We have officially reached. Oh, somebody left. You bastard. We were at 901. So if you have left and if you have unsubscribed from our channel, you suck.
Yeah.
Go back and resubscribe so we can be at 901. We are almost there to listen, once we get to 1,000, we get our wood plaque from YouTube, and it'll be great. And then we'll never talk about subscribers again until we hit 1 million.
We'll just jump from 1,000 to 1 million.
Yeah, that's how it works. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We will see you Sunday, or someone will see you Sunday. You guys have a great weekend. Be safe. Oh, great Memorial Day weekend. Be sad, be happy. Think about the people who gave all so we could be sad and happy. And yeah, I know it's a holiday, but we'll be on Sunday. So you guys have a great one. And we'll go from there. All right. Take care. Good night. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah. My wife's got friends that are beanbags. I just thought he might want to play some cornhole in his cell.
Go.